Alright, off we go. Good morning. Thanks for joining me again. So I think last week or the week before, I don't know which order I'm doing them in anyway, I took you down and showed you the big fallen giant down by the creek trail. And it was a mess. Very hard to see, very hard to wrap my head around, very hard to walk around because of all the branches and just the place was trashed. So I'm going to go down there today with my chainsaw, clean things up a bit. I can't get down there all the way with the ATV, but I can get close. So I'll only have to backpack the chainsaw and a few other pieces of equipment in a short ways. So I'm going to do that this morning and take you along for the ride. Hope you enjoy it. So that's about as far as I can get on the ATV because of the bridge up ahead. But for now I'm just going to put the chainsaw in a backpack and all the tools I need and carry it through. Alright, off we go. It's not that far, it's just, you know, and it's so beautiful too. Okay, here's the tree. One of the things I've learned from watching many tutorials, forestry tutorials, like proper tutorials, is when you're carrying a chainsaw, make sure the lock is off or on and carry the blade pointing backwards. It's just a safety tip. By the way, all those professional forestry tutorials are all on YouTube. I'll put some links to them down in the description down below, because they're quite, I mean, they're very like corporate video. They're not very entertaining, but they are very accurate, and they're sort of OSHA type rules about chainsaws and felling trees and things like that. There's a lot of good information in there. You can see why I love this electric chainsaw. I'm probably going to upgrade to the 20-inch. 4 horsepower, 20-inch chain, proper metal attachments. Better than this one, but this one's great. For this kind of thing, for bucking, for smaller trees like this, it's so quiet. Like, there's no revving engine, there's no idling engine. I can be out here in the peace and quiet listening to birds, sound of the creek. It's very peaceful, so that's why I like electric chainsaws. Hear the owls. Love those owls. Well, I don't think this tree is going anywhere because it's pinned against another tree over there. Now is when I'm going to start working on the uphill side, which is obviously the safer thing to do, just in case it does roll. It's going to make bucking a little bit more complicated, reaching over for things, but it's what you got to do to stay safe. Finding a lot of fat wood. This is how you can tell there's fat wood in there. That dark red portion. All of these branches. Something to keep in mind when working on something like this. When you're working with a tree this size, the chainsaw is not the most dangerous thing around, the tree is. Every branch I cut through, I'm paying attention to how the forces play, whether the tree is resting on the branch or the branch is trying to lift up, whether the roll of the tree is supported by branches above or below. And if I cut through a branch and it snaps, or if I cut through a branch and it binds really quickly, then I know the tree is tending in that direction. So it's always good to pay attention to what's going on with the forces involved. And just work slowly and calmly and clear your exit route. Be as safe as you can. That battery was at 2 out of 3 bars when I put it in. So I did all of the work you've seen so far on one battery, or 2/3 of a battery. And I put a fresh one in right now. Moment of truth. Almost 28.5 inches. Or 7 feet 4 inches around. Diameter tape measure. Pre-marked with all of the diameter calculations from circumference. So you just wrap a tape measure around a tree and it'll tell you the actual diameter of the cut. Very useful. Right there. Okay. That's 124 feet unbroken, and another 10, 15 feet probably of broken sections at the very tip. So I'm guessing this tree was about 150 feet tall. And I was almost exactly right with guessing the diameter of the base, or the breast height diameter, which was 28.5-ish. And I guessed, I think in the episode, I think I said 28 to 32, somewhere in there. So I'm getting pretty good at guessing the diameter of trees. I'm impressed with myself on that one. Anyway, so now I have some math to do. I'll put up on screen all the calculations of how many board feet this is, what the weight is, you know, estimating based on maths. And yeah, that's kind of interesting. But yeah, so I have this giant tree that is now clean. It's all easy to access once you get here. Obviously this piece of the property is still fairly inaccessible, but at least I can start bucking it. Most of the trunk is propped up near the base, so I can probably buck most of it with my chainsaw without disturbing the root ball, which is where things get really dangerous. Maybe just buck it up into firewood. I don't think so. I would love to be able to get at least some of these smaller sections out and use them for posts and beams and tables and chairs and seating and foundations and whatever. But in an ideal world, I find someone who has a chainsaw mill or some kind of portable mill and just try and get some of these made into beams, posts, I don't know, something I can build out of. I've got so many things I want to build, and lumber is so expensive. I'm not going to complain about the price of lumber anymore, because just getting the limbs off of this tree was almost a full day's work for me. You can see why they invented machines to take the branches off of trees, can't you? Anyway, that'll do for now. Thanks very much for watching. Thanks for subscribing. If you're a subscriber, I'd really appreciate it. Give me a thumbs up if you thought this was fun. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so. Either way, thanks very much for watching.